Again, welcome back to my channel. Hello ladies, angel men. Most men have no clue how powerful their words are. They think attraction is all about looks, money, or status. But the truth, the way you make a heart feel is what really sets you apart.
And here's
The game changer, one of the most underrated weapons. Yuhavila's compliment. Think about it. Have you ever seen a woman's entire energy shift just because of something say delivered that way can change the way she sees you? Not for a moment, but forever. Today, I'm breaking down 8 powerful compliments that go by and surface level flattery. These aren't twig triage hard lines that make you look desperate. These are deep psychological compliments that trigger something primal in her mind, making her feel truly seen, respected, and drawn to you on a deeper level. And here's the truth. If you're out here throwing Garen Jenner compliments like confetti, you'll look cute, nice outfit, Uriah. You're just unforgettable. Guy in her DM is. But if you understand the Stoic approach to influence and attraction, the power of self-control, calculated words, and how you carry yourself, you'll realize their all power is not in what you say, Butho. You say it, and what your words make her feel. So, if you're ready to elevate a game, stand out from every other guy, and leave a lasting impression, keep watching. But first, take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform. How you'll handle relationships in Theo of Stoicism. Every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaning compliment. That fragrance you're wearing is addictive. Smells amazing. Let's start with something powerful, fragrance. Most guys completely overlook this. But if you understand the deeper psychology behind attraction, you'll realize something. A woman's scent is one of the most powerful triggers for memory and desire. Think about it. How many times has a certain smell instant lighted you back to a specific moment? A summer night, a hug from someone you loved, a moment that felt frozen in time. That's because a scent is directly linked to the bronze-like, responsible for emotion and memory. So when you compliment a woman's fragrance, you're innate just saying you smell nice. You're saying you're presentlingers in my mind even after you've walked away. Anthus, and intoxicating for any woman. But here's the brutal truth. Muskies don't pay attention to detail. They throw out shallow lines like you look nice or that dress is cute. Beauty in who notice show she smells thinner, her scent carries, and how it subtly affects him. That man stands out back as he's present. He's attentive and most importantly, he's different. And here's where Stoicism kicks in. Stoic man understands that words have weight. He doesn't speak just to fill salons, doesn't toss compliments or to gain attention. Every word he has speaks is deliberate, intentional, and unpacful. So when you say that fragrance you're wearing is addictive, say it with quiet confidence, not loud desperation. Say it like you mean it. Say it like Ian knows his worth and doesn't need Topra of anything. And when you do watch your entire body language shift, she'll remember that moment. Not just thought day in, but every time she sprayed that. That's not just chemistry. That's psychological attraction. Compliment number 2. Your smile could brighten you an entire room. Let's break this down, Bakehouse. This one's powerful. Land. Most guys completely miss the depth of it. A smile. It's not just a curve on her face. It's a vibe. It's a frequency. It's an energy that can shift the sphere the moment she walks in. When you tell a woman your smile could brighten up an entire room, you're not just complimenting her teeth or her. You're recognizing her presence. You're telling her that her energy has been picked. That can change the emotional climate of a space just by bonging it. Think a booty. If you've ever been in a room that felt heavy, stressed, anxious, disconnected, and then someone walks in with a genuine smile and suddenly things feel lighter. That's not just charm, that's power. And here's what separates the average gift from the emotionally interlinked man. The average guy focuses on looks. You look good and I smile. You're pretty but a stoic, observant man. He sees beyond that. He sees the effect that smile has on the world around her. Because that kind of smile, the one that makes people feel at ease, the one that feels like sunlight in a dark room, it's her. And when you call it out, when you say you light up a room with your smile, you're telling her, I didn't just see how you look. I see what you bring, tough space you're in. That's not just a compliment. That's a recognition of influence. Here's Theckold, harsh truths. Most guys never even notice this. Get stuck on shallow compliments. Too distracted by appearances to understand the energy a woman carries. But her smile, it's not just part of her beauty, it's part of her power. And when you see that, when you appreciate that urging emotional intelligence that most men lack, now let's tie this stoicism. A stoic man is aware of the energy he brings. He doesn't need to be in the room to be the strongest. He operates from presence, intention, and calm control. And when he speaks, when he gives a compliment, it lands. So when you notice something as subtle but powerful as her smile and say it with sincerity, she feels that she'll feel seen. And let's be real, why wouldn't want to hear that their presence alone can change the room? A woman doesn't hear that every day. And that's exactly why it sticks. It's real, it's rare, and it's unforgettable. Compliment number 3. I love how Raleigh are. You don't try to fit in your let's be brutally honest. 4. Live in a world full offers not just in social media, but real life too. Everyone's wearing masks. Yeah. Everyone's trying to fit into bat. Others want them to be authenticity. That's revolutionary. When you tell a woman I love how Ruari, you're not just giving her a pat in the back. You're validating on of hardest. Most courageous choices a person can make today, and that choice often be unapologeticisms and sink a booth it for all while through old reward scornforty and punishationisty. Secus is to be real, raw, unfiltered. That's not just attractive, that's magnetic cause her rest truth most people ignore. Women hear compliments about their looks all the time. You're beautiful, you're sexy. You're stoning. But when a man looks deeper when he sees, I admire your authenticity. Now that hits differently, you're not mirroring the M you're admiring. Thus, you're saying I see who you really are, not why you pretend to be, and that's who I admire. Now let's get even deeper. Authenticity isn't always. It's not always polished, can be messy, imperfect, and even controversial. Beauty's always real. Andrea will always be more powerful than perfect. And from a Stoic perspective, this is gold. A Stoic man values truth, not trend. He aligns with who he really is, not who the world tells him to be. And when Hesse stat sand, strength in someone else, hair specs it. So when you give this compliment, you're not just being kind, you're being honest. You're saying you didn't need to change a thing. The rue is more than enough. And trust me, in a world full of pretenders, that kindle for cognition, it means everything. Compliment number 4. I love the way you see the world. It's so unique. It truly makes me think. Let's face it. If world is filled with clones, people living on autopilot, repeating this as opinions, following thesis, blending ginto a gray crowd, awesomeness. But every now and then you meet Sumionet, someone who doesn't just accept thrillas. It is she questions it. She sees things differently and theta's magnetic. When you tell a woman, I love the way you see the world, you're in it just throwing out a poetic line or recognizing her mind, her lens, her runic way of processing life. Not through what's popular, but through its personal and meaningful. You're telling her, Ayalu, how your mind works, your thoughts made her to me. Your view of world inspires me. In a culture reobsessed with filters, appearances, and groupthink, but kind of recognition is rare, and that's why it hits so hard. Here's the most guys only notice what's on her looks, her outfit, her vibe, the theme. You notice what's inside. Her, how she sees the world, how shine her reaches, how she navigates meaning. You'll love it. The conversation from casual attraction to something profound. You let her know. I'm not just into how you, like I'm inspired by how you think. That changes everything because now Chase. Is you not as just another guy Buddha's a man who's genuinely curious? A other perspective. A man woe is stimulated by her intellect. Now let's connect this to Stoicism. The Stoic man doesn't follow the crowd questions. He reflects. He values clarity of thought, depth of insight, and the courage to challenge what's accepted. So when you give her this compliment, you're aligning with that in principle. You're honoring her vision, her courage to think freely, heard it in a world full of shallow noise. And here's the best part. When you say clarity of thought, depth of insight, and the courage to challenge what's accepted. So when you give her this compliment, you're aligning with principle. You're honoring her vision, her courage to think freely, her depth in a world full of shallow noise. And here's the best part. When you say Thiwe, you see the world really makes him think. You're not just flattering her, you're inviting her to keep. Thinking loud with you to open up, to express Moreto, go deeper. You're creating emotional intimacy without advantaging her because you are connecting where it matters most in the mind. And trust me, that's second of compliment that stays with her, not just for a day, but for years, because in a world where most men choose Bodhi, you chose to hone. And that, my friend, is the between being forgettable bung hump memorable compliment 4-5. I love your energy. It's contagious. It makes me want a baddie. Best version of missile. Let's talk about something most people don't understand. Energy is everything you've felt at those people who drain you the moment they walk into a room. Can't quite explain it. But something about their vibe is heavy, toxic, exhausting, and then there's the opposite. That person who lights up space, who doesn't just enter theorem the Levier TES dot, it's the woman you're talking about right now. When ye her, your energy makes me want Toby better. You're giving her one of the highest forms of recognition. You're saying, you inspire growth, you spark something in time. You'll make me want to, and that's more powerful than your heart will ever. Here's the brutal truth. Life is, and if you're serious about living fully, you can't afford to bear on people who drain you. You need people who push you forward, who ignore vision, hold you accountable, simplify the way they carry themselves. And when a woman brings that kind of light, that kind of electricity, yodel her loud and clear from a Stoic perspective. This is vital. The Stoic man values growth, has surrounds himself with those who sharpen him, hooken him, who force him out of comfort into excellence. So, when you give her this compliment, you're not just admiring her mood, you're honoring her impact. She's not just fun to bear around. She's someone who amplifies your potential. That's not flattery. That is deep respect, because her presence distant affects you emotionally. It changes your direction, so say it and me in it. I love your energy makes me to be the best version of myself. Because when a woman hears that, she knows she's not just desired. And that makes all Pfeffring's compliment thick. You're honestly one of the most helpful people they've ever met. You really care about other, it shows. Let's get real. In a world full of loud self-promotion, fake personas, and performative kindness, genuine thoughtfulness is rare. Everyone's training to look good, but few are truly good. So when you tell a woman you're in of the most thoughtful people I've ever met, you're cutting through the noise and acknowledging something that most people overlook. You're not just complimenting what you're complimenting who she is. You're noticing the little things. How she remembers details from past conversations. How she checks in when she doesn't have Edo. How she goes out half her way to make feel seen, heard, and valued. And that, my friend, is actor. It's easy to be pretty. It's easy to be witty. It's rare to be genuine. Most guys are sophocist on attraction. They miss what really builds connection, integrity, thoughtful people give. They nurture. They protect the energy in a room. They just take space. They hold it. And when you recognize that, when you tell her it, you're saying, I see your heart. I see your goodness. That's a compliment that reaches her. Now, let's bring in the Stoic lands. The Stoics believed in virtue over vanity. They taught that character charm is the foundation of a good life. So when you compliment her for being thoughtful, you're not just making her feel appreciated. You're aligning with philosophy that says goodness is strength. Empathy is wisdom, and real value comes from what we give, not what ache. You're not admiring what she shows to the world. You're honoring what gives tone. Trust me, she never forget the man who saw that in her compliment. Duga 7. I love how driven you are. Your sense offer pose is serious. Lenny's bearing. Let's talk about drive. That fire that separates those who coast from those who create. Today's world offshore cuts distractions and instant gratification to finding someone with real ambition. Alike discovering treasure, so when Nasa love how driven you are, you're in it just hyping her up, you're admiring her mission, you're telling her. I see your hustle, I respect your late nights, I know what it costs to chase something bigger. That's not flattery. It's recognition. You're not just noticing your efforts, you're saying, I admire your mindset. There's what makes that so powerful. Driven people aren't looking for attention. They're too busy building. So when you acknowledge their fire, it means everything. Especially to a woman who was constantly told, tassel down to fit in. When you say your purpose inspires me, you're just boosting her confidence. You're beckoning part of her vision. Now let's talk Stoicism. The Stoic man understands that life is and wasted time is thighs. He doesn't wait around for sex's Toland in his lap. He wakes up every day with intention just like her. So when you recognize her ambition, you're in just seeing a goal chaser. You're seeing a kindred spirit. And in a world full of distractions and people will quit the way. You're telling her you're rare, you're focused. I respect hell out off that. And that's a compliment that doesn't fade because it touches something far deeper than a pure honor mission. Compliment number 8. You have this incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued. Let's talk about something truly powerful. Emotional intelligence. A quiet superpower that can't be faked. To make Simeon feel seen, safe, and appreciated by being around you. Some people walk into a room and come and taught attention, but a rare few walking and create connection. When you tell a woman you make people feel truly valued, you're speaking to her soul because of thoughts, not about appearance. That's not about charm. That's a boob presence. She doesn't need to say much. She doesn't need to perform. She simply is. And others feel better because, oh, fit that he's a gift. And when you're recognizing her social skills, you're honoring her ability to heal, talk, connect to make others feel like they matter in a world where most people feel invisible. Now, here's the brutal truth. Most people don't know how to hold space for others. They're too caught up in their own insecurities, too busy proving something to offer real support. But she's different. She feels people, shut-ups, she listens, she lifts. And when you have this incredible way of making others feel comfortable, you're telling her your presence is medicine from a Stoic perspective. This is one of virtues. The Stoics taught us to live with empathy, presence, and purpose. To connect with others without judgment, to understand burr. We speak in when you compliment a woman for being emotionally intelligent. You're acknowledging something that's becoming sizingly rare. Grace, and that ice and forgettable. And there you have it. 8 powerful compliments that go way beneath surface. Level flattery. The Caesars lines their bridges totter connection, mutual respect, and unforgettable chemistry. Because a woman might forget what you said, but she will never forget how you made her feel. If you found these compliments powerful, wait until you see the next level. Click in the video now popping up on your screen. No woman can ignore these 7 good morning texts. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Type words have power, and I know how to them lock it in. Let's see who's really paying attention. 'Cause we're another to be average. We're here to master connection, one intentional word